what happened to yesterday's video, why I had to pull it, and what I was talking about. Well, if you want to learn more about that, stick around. Folks, this is Fernando. Welcome to another video for the Modern Survivalist. And we're living in very interesting times. That's for sure. You know, I cover some of the topics that other channels cover, such as the one you see here. I go maybe a little bit extra into talking about some simple, well-known facts. If you do the research yourself, you will find out all of this, and you'll just connect the dots. These are things that YouTube doesn't like all that much. They allow you to go up to a certain point, but if you go past that and get more real, they don't like that. Anyway, if you want to watch the video that got pulled, you can go and see it in Odyssey. Odyssey is linked there below. It does an automatic backup of all my content, which is actually quite cool, and I appreciate that Odyssey doesn't do any of this crap in my videos. So I was talking about what these two persons are talking in Valuetainment. This is Tulsi Gabbard and the host of the show.
It was a don't ask, don't tell type of a situation. Today we have to salute, we have to do this, we have to do that. And then all of a sudden, the more and more and more we kept buying into this concept that, but it's normal, but it's normal, but it's normal, it's normal. And I got a book upstairs saying it's normal. Millions of copies sold. It's a book for 10-year-olds in school on how boys have sex with boys and how girls have sex with girls and how boys have sex with girls and all this stuff. Okay. It's not the gay BC, it's the other one. It's called It's Normal, something like that.
Perfectly normal. That's
I asked this question because when the camera's off, people are willing to talk about this more openly. When the camera's on, everybody's a little bit careful about it. It's perfectly normal. That's the book. Everybody's a little bit careful about it because what if this and what if that and what if...
He makes I think the host is called Patrick. He makes a great point about cowardice, about being a shill, about, well, maybe being forced to do what I just had to do. You have to pull a video because you get a strike. I got a strike for hate speech. I didn't do any kind of hate speech, but it doesn't matter. I only need someone to report it as such and have bad enough luck that someone will pull it. So you have to be very careful with the words you use. So you can talk about these things up to a certain point. Again, the points that I talked in the video that I had to bring down, and it's now in Odyssey, well, those things you obviously cannot say here. So you have to thread very carefully. This is the book. It's perfectly normal. He said millions of copies sold. No, that's not true. I understand he was just supposing, but I know a little bit about books. This book hasn't got millions of anything sold. In fact, my books, both the ones that are available, actually my 3 books, Surviving the Economic Collapse and Street Survival Skills, Surviving the Economic Collapse has over 1,000 reviews in Amazon. Thanks to you guys for the support and because you actually buy my books. This book with 269 reviews hasn't got not even 1 million books sold, but it does follow the narrative. It is targeting children, and that's why it's promoted so much. I have no doubt that the author of this pile of garbage is extremely wealthy and rich because he does the bidding of the elites. Now, in my video, I did explain that words mean things. Normal is what is expected. It's a standard. It is a pattern, and it's what, at the end of the day, comes natural in what it is considered biology. If you look at science, that is what normal is. What these people are trying to promote, as it often is the case with the left and the cultural Marxism, they try to promote as something normal, something that is anything but. Now, you can be not normal and be exceptional in a good way or in a negative way. You can have a very high IQ, be super smart, that's going to be awesome, or you can be very dumb with a very low IQ. Both of those are not exactly normal. They fall outside that medium, that average that you have that is expected, and the further away you go, the more extreme you get. But it's not normal by definition. It's not an opinion of mine. When they pull these things, they do it for a certain purpose. And there we have Tulsi Gabbard, which is not my favorite person, but she does make a few good points.
Got here where Sports Illustrated, I have no problem with Martha Stewart. She actually looks good for an 81-year-old. Go to the other one.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently 81. I thought I was.
She looks great for 81.
I'm
cover of Sports Illustrated.
Respect. But do the guy that's wearing this one piece. Do you know which one I'm talking? You know which one I'm talking about. First,
it's Adidas. I think it was Adidas.
Is it Adidas? Can you go to Adidas? Folks, just bear for it's a little bit strange, this model. Anyways, I guess I will find it here, the picture. Do you think it's a little strange that the more and more and more accepting we become, gradually the next thing they could pitch is the fact that a 44-year-old ends up being with somebody who is 13 years old? Well, guess what? That's just what it is. That's who they accept. And, it's normal. It's normal. We should accept the fact that they love each other. And some people say, you're out of your mind. This will never happen. We'll never get there. Nobody ever thought we're going to get
age
here.
discrimination.
Well, it's already happening. It's already happening. The normalization of pedophilia. The fact that there is such a term as a minor attracted person.
Oh, my God.
The fact that that is a term that's being used and assigned to people who are adults who are, quote unquote, attracted to minors. Yeah, that's a pedophile. That's a crime against a child. And those criminals should be locked up and kept away from children.
How are Democrats supporting that, though?
That's my point.
Oh, that's my point.
I have not heard a single Democrat in Congress, in the House or the Senate, speak out against this nonsense. And their response is always like, oh, it's a non-issue. Like, these things don't...
And yet there you are, lady. Tulsi Gabbard, ladies and gentlemen. This woman that has been in the Democrat Party her entire life, staunch Bernie Sanders supporter, and now reinventing herself as a, conservative, as a red-pilled. I don't fall for it, any of it. I see right through it. How old is this woman? At that age, you have an awakening that what you've been doing your entire life was wrong and you're still part of it, but you speak against it. It just doesn't add up. At least for me, it doesn't. Now, she's absolutely right. This idea that... age attracted, normalizing insanity, normalizing something that is as of right now still very much a crime. If you do these things that people want to normalize, you are very much, as of still today, a criminal. It used to be up until not that long ago that if you do some of the other stuff that is now considered perfectly normal, it was also a crime. Now, I'm not someone that's looking to put everyone in jail. I actually think it's a lot better if you don't have a massive amount of your population imprisoned. Probably something has gone wrong along the way if that's how you end up. But you still need to have some basic common sense, and you need to protect children above everything else. Protect moms against guns for children. Save the children. Think of the children. Well, they are definitely not thinking of the children, right? They just say they are, but they're not. You're not making children any safer by going against the Second Amendment. You're not making children any safer by taking away guns. There's plenty of examples of countries that have plenty of guns around. In fact, in some ways, a lot more liberal in terms of gun ownership than in the United States. Countries in Europe where sound suppressors are not only perfectly normal, but considered to be the civilized, polite way of using a firearm because it's less loud. So yeah, using a sound suppressor, sure, that's perfectly normal. Barrel lengths, who gives a damn? Many of these things that are kind of like taboo and big no-nos in the United States, in other parts, not so much, or maybe not even at all. But what I'm going for here is the idea of normalizing things that are definitely not. The idea of giving away children just to fulfill an agenda of the destruction of the family, and most of all, the destruction of the individual. If you make someone weak enough, doubtful enough, fragile, and mentally confused enough so as to not even know who he is when he looks into a mirror, then you have succeeded in weakening society and the individual himself. And that's what they want. That's why they have these ESG ratings. If you're not familiar with it, it's like a BlackRock elitist thing where they reward they reward businesses that have more inclusivity and equality and all of this woke bullshit that we're so familiar with. Well, it's financially rewarded if you have that. That's why these beer companies keep doing it. You think, why on earth would you possibly do this? Well, because it is rewarded by the elites.
Only affect a handful of people. They don't actually speak to or address what is happening and how we have people who are teachers who are out there and they're on social media saying, well, I'm a minor attracted person. I shouldn't be discriminated against anyway. This is people who are trusted.
Yeah, she's actually correct. That's how we've ended up. We've ended up with minor attracted people looking to, guess what? Work in proximity to minors. So you have to be, my point and why I'm talking about this in the channel, a channel that is dedicated to survival and preparedness. We have to prepare for this as well. This is crucial. While you keep on debating if you need 9mm or 45 for zombies or for the apocalypse, your kid is exposed to this in school, in society, internet, or wherever he is, or whatever doubt your daughter is going through and going through puberty, like all little girls do, or like often boys do as well. If you're distracted and you're not aware, and if you think that this is just tinfoil conspiracy theory nonsense, in that case, you will end up regretting your inaction, your lack of attention to what's going on. That's why I'm talking about this. And often enough, you have the same people that are talking against it, only going so far, only covering. Again, I cannot avoid pointing out, this is the same woman that is right now talking against the support for Ukraine and saying that basically the U.S. military is evil and invades countries. Well, she did that herself as an active member of the military going into the Middle East in, I think, 2 or 3 tours, whatever it was, doesn't matter. She participated in that. Now she speaks against it. You talk about the Democratic Party now when you supported it for so long. I mean, good for you, finally coming around. But it would be great if you didn't support some of the enemies of your own country, such as Russia and China as well. But yeah, this is a concern. This is a problem. And the fact that I had to bring down the video because I was giving a strike. I had the channel suspended for a week. I had to appeal that. Finally got it overturned, but I cannot risk having it again. So if you want to watch that, go over to Odyssey. It is still very much there. And if not, here you have my take only as far as I can take it, given the restrictions that we have here in YouTube. Folks, see you on our next video. Take care.